YouTube time. Got to pull my shirt down. I had my shirt on. You guys don't want to see that. Not at all. If I do want a girlfriend, if she has a name like the big fat fluffy furry hairy bush monster, but then I have my preferences about how fluffy and how furry and how fat. We're going to talk about a relative's car that's here. The Wicked Witch, my mom. Okay, we had to piece this thing back together. These cars, these modern cars, they've got more plastic parts than a case of Legos. I swear to God. That's why when you see an accident scene, you say, "Good God, what the hell is all that shit?" Uh, it's a lot of what I replaced in here. And you see, I'm going to do it on camera. I've got the power of knuckleheads. Because every fucking auto parts store, they got half a dozen of these, one of those, two of those, maybe one of their half of them. And, they're blah, blah, blah. And then they don't speak or comprehend English. And I've got to spend hours and hours on the internet, and then I've got to wait for the shit to come. And then your customer, like my mother, she's been throwing tantrums. They don't understand what this industry is going through and how we're losing a lot of our homespun, family-born shops. And even guys like me, I'm working alone back here. Can't afford to pay nobody. And that's what I was telling you about those guys that wear that funny little disc on their head why they want all them data centers. They want to know everything you earn and everything you do. They're going to keep an eye on you with that stuff and their cameras. Okay, get rid of it. Shit can it in America. Oh, I I had a problem even with the push fasteners. I've got 3 cases of these, and please excuse the video. I am extremely tired. It's beer 30. I had 2 beers, and it's like a grizzly bear grabbed me around my chest. So, and even though if I drink another one, I'm just going to slow up. My internal body, my temperature gauge internally in my body went slightly down overnight, and as soon as I started in this morning, about 10 o'clock on this car, it went back up to holy shit, that's hot. And it stayed that way all day. It's been blazing all day. Keep blowing holes through the atmosphere. You see, you don't hear the Jews mention a word about the environment when it comes to them bombing their friends and enemies. Friends and enemies. U.S. troops just got hit by an Israeli missile. Okay. Stuff like this, it's fairly reasonable on Amazon, but it doesn't really come. I don't know. I've had dozens of models of cars here, and half the shit in these kits don't fit anything that comes here. Now, maybe they'll fit a Russian Zaguli or a Lada, or what's that other one they drive over there, them retard cars. I wouldn't call a Lada a retard car. They were pretty resilient over the years and capable of over 100 miles an hour. State police just got the one guy in the Hellcat. The Hellcat went on the wrecker, and he went in handcuffs. That I saw the video of it. I don't post other stuff on the channel because of copyright and different stuff, and I wished I could. I wished Mortsky, I wish Tom would talk to me a little more. Even Puddin down there, Dan and that stuff. Like I said, I do love those guys, and especially Tony DeFeo. Tony, I don't know how Tony's doing. I wish, like I said, I wanted to visit the guy. That's another guy that I like. So take it from me, why these shops are going out of business is because you got the power of knuckleheads at these parts counters. It was like I said, once they took over, once these stores took over, Walmart, AutoZone, they put every independent shop out of business with cheap prices, fast service, and people that back then actually knew things, and now they just shit right in your head, is what they do. And it's disturbing, and especially in my area with the Hispanics, because they're kind of racist at the counter. They'll take their buddy, hey, you step aside, and blah, 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 and then they go, over to another part of the store, and they're starting to talk, and you're standing there at the counter, and it's like, I want to get the hell out of here. I have a commercial account. The one store, unfortunately, it never has anything. It never has anything. So then I got to go to the retail store. I am sorry about the breeze. We've had a constant breeze, and when you have wars and you have your atmosphere disturbed, and they're blowing big holes through the stratosphere, hey, I think that's Chuck Schumer up there. You got a buzz. Oh, we got some buzzards. Isn't that Schumer and Pelosi? I'm not sure if that's Fannie Willis. Maybe Jeremy Ratskins? Holy shit. I might be in trouble, guys. I might be getting some real attention. That ain't. And they're circling right over me. I'm going to get a shower real quick. I don't want to see Pelosi or sure. Well, forget it. So, if you're fixing a relative's car or a customer's car, just like these other trucks, they had to sit and I had to deal with this. I got the parts, and that's the other thing is you have a limited time to return parts and different things. Look, you're working under a lot of conditions that we didn't work under years ago. You know, if you bought something 6 months ago at a parts store, a family store, those folks, they pretty much took care of you. Now, when you're dealing with the internet, Scamazon, Fleabay, um, Rockview Prison, there, um, look, it ain't a good environment when you got a couple, you know, when you got a small window and maybe something else goes wrong on the project, on the vehicle, and you've got to stop and you've got these parts and then you realize the shit don't fit. You know, there's only so much that you can do as a mechanic. And that's why I understand a lot of guys like Mortsky, Puddins, they're, like I said, there's half dozen other guys. They're all working on older stuff because we understand it. We can almost identify the parts through our decades of years of experience. But this new stuff, you get it in a box and it sits a couple weeks because you had another avenue of pursuit on the vehicle. Something else is wrong. You got to fix one thing before the other. Take it out of the box. It's the wrong thing. You got the power of knuckleheads. Okay, Fleabay, Scamazon, and even the other stores. I've been noticing that even with my accounts at the stores. Lifetime parts guarantee. You take it back, or it's limited lifetime parts guarantee. The second time, they have no record of it. That is the problem that is going wrong in the industry, not to mention these ill-fated cars that they're building and trucks that can't be fixed. Okay? I don't know whoever thought of putting a 4 and 3 cylinder engine with turbocharging behind a 5, 6, and 7 and 8,000 pound truck. That genius genie is the same fucking guy that invented the black flashlight. You know, the one the light goes out, you drop it, you can't find it again. That's the same bastard that did that. Okay? They're the genius genies at the bottom of the Xanax bottle. Okay? Orange Cat is crashed, by the way. If anybody wants to know where Orange Cat is, he's underneath the black F-150 here. Orange Cat, say hello. Uh, he ain't much for Hollywood. He's kind of like me. We stick to sleeping when we can. He's getting a cat nap in. So when you're fixing somebody's car, explain that to them. Because my mother's acting like a total window licking lunatic. You've had the car long enough. These people, they could give a rat's ass. But she's being a hypocrite. She's talking about her friend driving a car that's unsafe. The power steering's going out. She can't make a right-hand turn. Well, either the pump's going out, possibly, maybe the belt, maybe something else, maybe a tie rod, a ball joint. But then she's being a hypocrite. And, well, you know, my mother's never broken down because I worked on her vehicles since my beginning day. She had cars she traded in that she got a lot of money for because I kept them right and clean underneath the hood. I've had compliments of how clean my vehicles are under the hood. And that's the way I am. I can't say so much for my shop and my house right now. And that's because this shit is taking up all my time. And I've been telling people that in my videos for the last couple of years. I can't clean up my personal life because I got to deal with all this bullshit on the internet and these goofy parts stores and the goofballs they have working there. So take it from Uncle Dutch. It's not good. And it might be different where you live and you might have a cooperative parts store and the guys that you're dealing with might have worked there for years. But it's all new faces every other year here where I live. All new faces. or they move guys around from other stores that do stick with their alma mater. But it's not fair to the consumer to screw the consumer, okay? And then who's really ultimately getting screwed is the customer. Doesn't matter whether it's a paying customer. Gotta wait for the wind to pass. Wind, wind. Beep, beep, wind warning. It does not matter whether it is a paying customer, okay, or a relative. Wow. Yeah, I know. That's a hell of a breeze. Okay. We're going to end the video. I don't know. We're not getting a storm. It got gray and windy like this yesterday. Look, take it from me. Doesn't matter whether it's a customer, a relative, a best friend. Look, you take their car, you have an obligation to fix it. But you're not obligated for what other entities are doing to you. And I'm talking about AutoZone, Fleabay, Scamazon, Advanced Auto Parts. They're the pits right now. And they don't have nothing in stock. They're supposed to call me about this gasket I need for this other truck. Left my number, purchased the other stuff I need. You see, I got half of what I need. One of these, two of those, a half dozen of them, and not what the fuck I need. I left with half of what I need. Do you think they had called me? No. I got a call tomorrow. And then they wonder why I'm ignorant to them when I call them. Look, enjoy watching my videos and what I'm going through. Remember what I told you in YouTube? Life is not the same everywhere. It's just here near Hazleton, Pennsylvania. It is the frickin' pits. And I went to Walmart the other day. I was looking for Tidy Cat in the bags for, well, that's like having a moose in the house when he takes a, well, let's not talk about that. I went there and nobody spoke English. I couldn't even ask them. I think they stopped carrying it because it's too heavy for their little South American pygmies to handle. Thanks for watching my videos, and I'm exhausted. Sorry for the tone. I am a condescending individual, and I told you that. Okay, that was my job with the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps. I was a condescending guy. Wind is picking up.